40% of all CO2 pollution comes from the building industry.
If you take a look at the way a conventional home is built, there's not really a calculation of how much energy we're using to build that home.
People care about what they're putting in their body, and now a lot of people care about what they're putting on their home.
Being intentional about the things that are going into these homes is something that we're really paying attention to.
Sustainability shouldn't be a style. It shouldn't be a luxury item. It's something that should be just fundamentally a right for everybody to have.
40% of all CO2 pollution comes from the building industry. 13% comes from actually building those buildings. The remaining 27% is the operation of the buildings. So what that means is 27% of carbon emissions polluting our environment is from the fossil fuels that are being used to heat and to cool.
So if we can solve this 27% of the problem by becoming a net zero energy neighborhood, by harvesting all of the energy that the neighborhood needs right on site where it is used, and we replicate that, we solve almost a third of emissions right there globally. We must have our emissions by 2030 to keep from catastrophic consequences of climate crisis. That means electrifying everything. That means harvesting all of your own energy as close to where you're using it as possible. That means making more humane scale transportation, e-bikes, car share programs, make it easier for people to socialize, make it easier for them to get to grocery stores, and then decarbonizing the entire process. So Veridian is really an act of optimism. It's an opportunity to look at the way we know the world needs to be and say, how much of that can we build now? And what we're proving is we can build all of it now. There are no tools that we're waiting to be invented. Every single solution that we need is here now. What we're really trying to do is create a scalable solution that can be done anywhere, any place in the world, at every price point. The challenge is, it's really just a lack of imagination, of not knowing what that future looks like. And Veridian really is just an embodiment of what that future can be. If you take a look at the way a conventional home is built, there's not really a calculation of how much energy we're using to build that home. The part that's neglected is what we call embodied carbon. What does it take to build your home? If you build a net zero energy home and you're not taking into account the energy that it took to build the home, then you're missing a really huge chunk of that carbon input.
So embodied carbon is all of the carbon impacts that we consider it cradle to gate. From when the raw material is mined or harvested from the earth, transported to a manufacturing facility, turned into a consumable product, transported to the gate of the construction site, and then assembled into whatever you're trying to build. You can think of embodied carbon the same way you'd be counting calories on the side of a cereal box.
And so anything we can do to separate ourselves from dependence on foreign source materials is as important part of addressing sustainability, of addressing climate change, as the makeup and the composition of the material itself. A great example is the total sum of all international shipping. If all of that were a country, it would be the 6th largest emitter of greenhouse gases on the planet.
So we use the embodied carbon for construction calculator, and that's helping to inform all of our procurement decisions.
How much energy to put in sewer pipes, siding, faucets, paint, every single product that goes into it.
We're choosing different products to reduce our embodied carbon impact.
Our roads alone, if we did conventionally, would require over 1 million pounds of CO2 in the production of that amount of concrete. We want to create roads that are permeable, that use rainwater as an asset. We decided we were going to use this product called EcoRaster that's different than carbon-producing cement or asphalt.
The roads are porous to a certain layer.
It's stable, strong, it's recyclable at the end of its life cycle, and it lasts at least 30 years. And any pieces that we damage during it, we can then take that and recycle that as well. So it's a completely cradle-to-cradle product. We've worked for over 18 months just trying to source materials. we're really laying the groundwork for others by really digging into every single material. No matter how small, every single one of these things has an impact. There's no template for sourcing sustainable materials. The problem is we're in this transition phase where we have really highly toxic, cheap materials, and we're moving into our era of healthy and abundant materials.